Sainers. Welcome to the Saints TV podcast. Joycey, as we know very well based on his Instagram posts from a few days ago, he's living his best life. He's in Bali. We weren't living really our best lives yesterday at Marvel Stadium at 4:40, but we got the job done. Got the 4 points to the margin of 8 points. I'm joined by Marshy. It's just the two of us, mate. A continuation from yesterday's little adventures post game. How's it going?
Uh, yeah, yip yip lad and listeners. Yeah, yesterday. Oh my goodness. I feel like the tone was set, and I blame our first sort of 3/4 lethargy on the announcer to the MC.
Oh,
How stale was he? He was going that slow and that boring.
mm.
He reached his peak with number 9, Jack Steele. And then
Oh,
that was it. It got it got canned. He couldn't. They're like, mate, look, this is a 4:40, not a 5:40 start. So yeah, all right, nice try, buddy, but don't come Monday.
mate,
Absolutely.
I love that you brought that up straight off the bat because I
It
got a
was so
DM. I
shit.
got a DM specifically about that. That was in the junk mail, but we'll launch into that one early.
Oh,
I actually
so
didn't hear
poor.
it. I didn't
Didn't
hear
ya?
it, but
Oh no.
yeah, a lot of people are quite let down to the point where they were saying, "Jakey, can you and the boys get hold of that gig? Can you pump up the boys and get them out?" I'm like, "I'll do it if they want me to. I'll do it for free."
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I reckon everyone listening would do a better job than that person. Like, how hard is it to just read out the names with a little bit of a jus de vie? It was
Yeah.
so poor, and because it was just background noise to me. And you're in the aisle, you're chatting to everybody, whatever, and someone said to us, "Is like, check this out. This is really like we're living through something big at the moment." And then, yeah, that's when it got to Jack Steele, and it was like, "Oh my
If you
goodness."
can't get up for the captain, I
Oh,
mean,
so
mate.
as Ross Lyon said in his presser, the Marvel Stadium is treating us with contempt because, yeah, had the wet seats, and I was actually kinda glad because we had, later got some reports about it being a bit wet on the
Mm,
seats, but I thought there was, like, someone had spilt something, but the deck was quite wet, and that's madness, but it kinda made me feel a little bit better about some of those worrying,
mm,
skill errors and
yeah.
shots at goal and things like that, but
Few
how
few of
poor was
those
that?
dropped few of those dropped marks. I think there was both teams were doing it, but that's the thing is, like, we don't know those factors, do we, before
No,
the game? You only find out
no,
about that after. I I I don't think many Saners would be hearing that and thinking, "Okay, that's a let off," because we've seen that level, I guess, of performance in the last 6 to 7 weeks with
it's
good
true.
conditions under the roof. It was no
It's true.
different. But how much do you think Saners can take away from that fourth quarter? Do we have to wait until the Hawthorn game to see if that was really a change, a shift? Or do you think the boys just had to go for it?
I reckon I reckon we definitely take something out of that. You have to because that was good football, and the position we're coming into the last quarter, we essentially had to flip everything that we were doing for the previous 3 quarters. We had to play almost near perfect football,
Mm,
and I think for large parts of that 4th quarter, that was and again, back to Rossi, that's the first time he's mentioned that type of football like, the first time he's mentioned the first 6 or 7 weeks of when we were flying. That's the
mm,
first time he's gone back to that as a reference point, as a barometer for how we should be performing, and
yeah.
I think we did that in that last quarter, so I'd be really disappointed if the boys don't use that as a launching pad to just bring that heat, that confidence. It was confidence, wasn't it?
Well, it's amazing what happens when you put a genuine target that has a bit of forward craft in the
Makes a
forward line
difference.
that can
Makes a
take a
difference.
mark and kick a snag at a crucial time. And Rowan Marshall, he had a tough day. We spoke to him after the game and he was buggered, wasn't he? He was
He
buggered.
was.
He's had a big month. Goldstein is still a very, very good ruckman. And even on a
Yeah.
bad day, he's just physical. He's still going to test you physically. And then you
Right.
got
Yeah.
Cherry, who's up and coming. He
Yeah.
had to he had to do something about that, and he went forward, impacted the game. But you know me, mate. I've been talking up getting another tall in for about 10 weeks
Yeah.
to allow Road to do what he did yesterday more. Surely we
I
can't
know.
keep
Yeah, we weren't coming out of Houston. There was no rockets being launched. Like everyone in the stadium, they're, oh, fancy that. Put Marshall forward and it gives us an option. He
Mm,
has, a couple of shots from some good, couple of good marks. And just, you're right. It's that forward craft. That hit up from Sinclair, though, was sexy, wasn't it?
yeah,
That,
it was that was
oh,
pinpoint, but Road going for that lead at
yeah,
that time,
definitely.
you don't see any of our other forwards do that. And like I was sitting with Jaden for the game, and a lot of the third quarter, I was just watching, our forwards operate. When we were trying to kick it out from a behind from North, from the back line, what were our forwards doing?
Yeah.
And they were just standing still, walking, basically staying inside the attacking 50, about 150 meters away from where the ball was. And
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, our players look like they have no options to get it out of the back line, and our forwards are just happy sitting for the kick out the back, the little Pagan's paddock
Definitely.
type goal. I'm like, that work rate for a lot of the game wasn't really up to scratch.
Nah, it wasn't, and sort of it's just same old issues with that respect. Just
Mm.
no fractal movement. The boys are just standing still. I think we need to have a chat to Marvel because it sounds like we've put in a few. Please explain. So
Yeah.
they owe us a bit of a favor here. So I would like to see them just put up, in some public spaces, they just have like really like annoying music playing to
Mm.
prevent people from loitering. I'd like that in our forward 50. Just, so the boys, yeah, they just have to get on the move, find somewhere else to
What
go and play
what
for a
music,
bit.
what tunes would you go for in that forward 50 to what's the
Oh,
go-to, you reckon?
I'd have the Gold Coast Suns tune because that's feral. That and that or West Coast, one of them two, or both of them, just
The
on
Gold Coast
repeat.
one that would have stung yesterday, hearing it after last
Yeah,
week,
absolutely. I didn't
back to
even
back.
think of it that
Yeah.
way. So yeah, I think yeah, in terms of it's uh, yeah having an effect. Yeah, I would have put the Gold Coast tune there for sure.
Yeah, so, I mean, we've already said we're not gonna go over the first 3 quarters too much, but what out of the first 3 quarters in the aisle when you're watching the game, you're like,
Mm,
"This is the number 1 problem that we need to somehow rectify if we're gonna win." Because honestly, at three-quarter time, I actually didn't feel like we had anything in us to turn the game around. I was really worried that we were gonna drop the game.
yeah. Oh, for sure. Definitely. They had, yeah, you definitely, we weren't full of confidence watching
Mm,
it, but I think just the confidence of the players backing their legs and not by running, by kicking the bloody football.
yeah.
I'm so sick of these
Oh, the
4, 5,
handballs,
6
man.
handball chains just into trouble. Like, because they get to either the third or fourth handball and they're clear. They should be going. And
Yeah.
you're seeing blokes like Hunter Clark, who's a beautiful user of the football. He's a smart footballer, just reverting to just hot potato.
Yeah.
And we all come out looking like spuds because
Mhm.
just overusing the ball. And that last quarter, when we had to get to business, we are direct. And
Yeah.
lo and behold, we're hitting up targets and we're hitting up blokes in space. And it was just free flowing. But
Mm.
yeah, for me, that was the biggest one. Just not not using the footy smartly and the
Yeah.
conversion. Yeah, that's always an issue. It seems with us. We had our chances, but it didn't feel like what was the scoreboard? It was like 4 goals, 11 or something like that, and
Yeah.
it didn't feel like we had dominated them. I thought it was quite the opposite. I thought North
Mm.
played really, really well.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did, they did.
yeah. So how'd you say it? to answer your own
Yeah,
question.
the handballing was number one. Like that was the most frustrating thing. But like I was frustrated with the players going for the handball, but a lot of the time I'm thinking, okay, they're not just handballing to someone that's not calling for it. And I'm like, just a bit of game awareness. There was so many times where,
Oh,
a
yeah.
player was getting it in space and handball it to like a Brad Crouch, who's basically going to get it and the bloke's already on his back and we turn it over. And
Yeah.
I'm like, did Brad Crouch call for the footy there? Or other times
Yeah.
where they'd go for the handball and instead of shepherding, this was a big one, man. This was a big
Oh,
one.
we hate
Handball
shepherding.
and
We
then
hate it.
just stop. We didn't run to give another option for the 1-2.
Yeah.
Or if you don't do that, you gotta put the block on and give them some
Yeah.
space to take a bounce and to run. And maybe those are the little things that, the first 6 or 7 weeks, we were so selfless. So
Yeah.
selfless. And
That's right.
the other thing, and I won't take credit for this, Jaden spotted it, but
Yeah.
this has been a problem for a lot of the year, is the amount of blokes that go up at the contest,
Mm.
leaving North players or the opponents every week at the fall of the ball. How many times did they kick it into the forward 50 and 4 or 5 Saners go up for the spoil or mark together
Yeah.
and it hit the deck
Yeah.
and it's just a rove? And they got a
It
few and missed them, but it should have been certain goals.
definitely. It's an issue. It's
Mm,
yeah, again, it's just a lack of chat. And
yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. That's and it kind of flies in the face of the other thing where blokes just aren't willing to take that responsibility of using the football well. It
Mm,
seems like everyone wants to be a hero when the ball's in the air. It's like,
yeah. It's
at
like, nah,
least
save the ball.
work it out. Someone stay down, and
Mm.
you got yeah. And the end result is you got blokes spoiling each other, and that's that drives me mad. That
No, that's
when we've got a player who's about to take a plum mark like a Wilkie or a Battle or
mm,
whoever it might be, and then someone else comes over and just spoils it. It's like, are you even you know just have a little bit more awareness? I
yeah, and
think.
like,
But
do you think like obviously Wilkie's been in great form this season and he's one of the best sort of one-on-one defenders in the comp. And Dukes obviously he's had a few tough months probably, to put it nicely.
yeah.
They're not the most commanding in the back line, are they? They don't say mine and go for it. They don't
Like
they don't
the
command
biggest
that space.
spoil
Like
the
they're not
biggest
May,
spoil and nah, you're right, and
you
the
know?
biggest, like, crunching golden fist, I believe it came from Marshall.
It did. It was huge in the last quarter, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and he's playing 40 and he just hammered it like 25 meters.
Yeah, like, where are the Dukes, he used to be excellent at that. I
Mm,
think he just needs a confidence shot, I think, Dukes,
mm.
because I thought that he'd taken his football to, sort of he looked like he was backing himself in, he was taking marks,
Yeah.
with Battle being out of the team and whatnot. I think he took a bit of ownership there and, um, but yeah, I'd like to see over the summer the defensive unit or the team as a whole just back yourselves in, back your teammates, use your chat. I don't know, whatever it is that creates that. Like, because you're watching the Collingwood Port Adelaide game the night before, and you just that's the level everyone should be trying to get to. That just absolute competitive beasts, both teams, just leaving nothing out there. But you can tell every one of them are just walking tall, knowing that
Mm.
their bloke on their left or their right is understanding of what's
Yeah.
to come, and they're going to be okay.
Yeah. Spot on. I think like you look at some of the top sides and they've got that, and we had that in the first part of the season. It's
Yeah,
there. It's kind of exciting and frustrating when you hear blokes like, Crouchy after the game. We'll talk about that a bit more later, but the fact that he knows, like he really believes our best is very, very good.
yeah.
And you can tell they're just fuming that they just this like they don't know
Oh,
how
it
to
must be frustrating.
it
It
must
must
be
be
so
frustrating
frustrating.
just trying to get out of their own heads and just
Yeah.
getting back to just playing that because we just look really shackled. And
Mm.
I think that, I think we copped a bit of flack from last week's potty. I saw some of the comments and
I
we
wasn't
copped
part
a
of
bit
it.
of flack. That's right. Yeah, we copped a bit of flack, sort of, seemingly targeting the forward line and just not everyone saying they're kids and that. But they were kids at the start of the year when we're playing this footy. So,
Mm.
um, yeah, I guess the leaders look at the last quarter. Let's hone in on this last quarter
Mhm.
because that was Saints footy. That was
Yeah.
really good to see. And I know I put a cheeky little multi on us to do them by 100. I said on the show
Of
last
course you
week
did.
we'd pound them by 60, but no, we smacked them by 8 points. But you know that last quarter we showed some fight. We could have rolled over and not won it, and
Yeah.
fuck, how miserable would we be? So
Yeah,
the fact that
exactly.
we're still 6, that's okay. We're firmly up there, and if that last quarter, if that's something that we can really just bring it back to and go, look, that's the type of football we know we can play, then the other teams they're not going to enjoy that.
No, and, like, the last quarter, I've got the stats here of some
Yeah,
of the players that stood up, yeah? So we talk about
yeah,
leaders. One of them's gonna be a future leader, and he had a big game, career high 30 disposals, but 11
hmm
of them came in the last quarter when the game was on the
yeah.
line with
I've
4
got the
4
quarter
marks.
four. I've got the Q4 stats for the
Y
players here as
Yeah,
well.
you know who
Mister
that is.
Windhager.
Mr. Windhager,
Mm,
excellent game. Last week as well, I think he got 27. So the last 2
yeah.
weeks, he's gotten 27 and 30 off that half-back wing sort of role. Bit of a different sort of, um,
So so
positioning for him.
you're up in the bird's nest. Like when
Yeah.
we're on level 1, it's really
Mm.
hard to get a true gauge of where players are playing because
Yeah.
they're everywhere. So was it obvious to you that he was coming from the half back line?
100%. He was playing where Hunter Clark started to learn his trade a little
Yeah,
bit off
right.
that halfback.
Yeah.
So on the Telstra tracker, Windy was 76% in the defensive half,
Mhm.
24% offensive. So, and it was strictly, like, primarily right side, favoring his right foot. So he's not coming in and getting the footy and then getting corralled on his left. He's
Yeah.
staying on that right side, so he's always got an option.
Yeah.
Um,
I like that move. I
yeah,
like that move.
and we didn't play stocker. And you look at, like, physical attributes and kind of speed and the way they kick and just the way they play. Windy and Stocker aren't too different in terms of their
Yeah.
physicality and their size. So dropping Stocker, putting Windy half back, 30 disposals from him,
Yeah.
that's tough for Stocker to come back in and match that, you know? Who
Mhm.
was the other one? There was obviously Jack Steele, the captain, kicked
Yeah.
a massive goal. I mean, there were a
That
few
was
long bombs in
nice.
that last quarter, weren't
There
there?
was. And that's why, like, so Caminiti's, like,
That was
he's just got
huge.
massive, massive, yeah, 55 meters out, no worries. And that's why it's so frustrating because in the first quarter when he has the shot, and doesn't
Shanked it.
even get the distance, he shanked it.
Yeah.
And if he can do that in the last quarter when he's, busted a gut all game. I loved his game, Caminiti's. I thought he really acquitted himself well and was having a
Yeah.
crack. But
That was one of his
yeah,
better games.
yeah, I agree, definitely. And yeah, for him to just launch it, and I love the celebration. There's some good celebrations
Yeah.
because yeah, Ray
Rose
was a
won.
little bit yeah,
Nah,
Rose was sick. It was
I
sick.
I had to go back and check that out because he was a bit embarrassed, wasn't he, the old prospect? But,
Yeah, he was.
um,
But you can't be because it shows you
nah,
give a shit. That's what you want to see,
yeah.
isn't it?
That's the passion, mate.
Yeah,
They knew this was a big 4 points to get, obviously, you look at the score and, Collingwood supporters and that will look at the score and go, "We would have beaten them by 10, 15 goals." It's like,
yeah,
at this point in the season, it actually, like, as much as we wanna get percentage and that's important, if we just keep notching up wins, you're there.
that's
And,
right.
like, we haven't seen our best footy for about 10 weeks, I reckon, maybe more.
No.
Like, what was the last game where we played Saints footy? Was it Sydney? In Sydney?
I'd
Even
say,
that
yes,
even that
yeah, even that, yeah, it wasn't
wasn't.
perfect.
Yeah.
I thought Melbourne, honestly, we played so well. We
Yeah,
didn't
true.
get we just didn't
Yeah,
convert,
yeah.
and that's But yeah, in terms of a whole game experience where we've just done most things really, really well and executed, yeah, you're going back into the archives because it's
Yeah.
been a while.
Yeah, and, like, to be fair, we're playing Hawthorn coming up. It's good to play a team that's not having to prove something or a coach that's got the sack, because I reckon we've had about 6 weeks in a row of playing a team that has been
Well,
under
they're
some sort
coming
of
off,
the 1
what,
point.
30
Yeah,
36 points or something like that? Right, it was a
true, true.
big margin and,
Yeah,
yeah, suffering your jocks, Hawthorn.
yeah, yeah, we'll get to that
Yeah,
later, but,
but yeah,
um
it's not on a massive scale. So yeah, it should be a pretty relaxed Hawthorn outfit. They've already beaten us this year, so
yeah,
they can't
one's
be
enough.
champing at the bit too much.
Nah. Obviously, Jack Higgins, great return. Kicked his 2 or
Yeah,
3, I think, in the end. I can't remember. What did he kick in? Was it 3?
I
2 goals,
think
2.
I'm not
2
2
goals,
goals 2.
2,
Yeah, he had a few chances. Oh, that was
13
another thing that
disposals.
pissed me off. The
Mm,
fluffing around when his positioning when he's having his, I think it was a free kick,
mm.
and he's having his
Oh, yeah, and
shot,
he hit the
and
post.
they kept on bringing it back, and he dobbed it. And he's like, for
Yeah.
the sake of half a step, just give it to him. Like, bugger off. Like, you guys.
I don't wanna pump up my own horn because, obviously I don't
Yeah.
do that very often, but,
Oh no,
I did I did
definitely
say to
not.
Jaden after they brought it back 3 times, I just tapped him on the arm. I was like, "He's gonna hit the post now." And he slammed it into the post. I'm like, "You're
Oh
joking.
jeez.
You just
Yeah.
know it's gonna happen." That was Saints footy for a lot of yesterday.
Yeah.
Mitch Owens again as well, 2 goals, 17
Oh,
disposals. Key, reason why we can allow Rowe to go deep is to have someone like Owens, not only in the ruck being the support ruckman, but actually being like a ruck rover
well, that's
when the
it.
ball hits
That's
the
why
deck.
these little experiments, it just makes you so keen for the future because
Yeah.
when we can afford to play Mitch Owens in the midfield, oh, the
Oh,
bloke, there's nothing he can't do. And
no.
I've just been, I think I might have said it on this show before, but he's almost like a too good to be true kind of player. And I've just been waiting for his, relative lack of experience and his age and all of that just to catch up with him and the
Yeah.
attention from other teams to catch up. And it just hasn't. It's not gonna. Like, the bloke is an out and out star. And everyone thought coming into this season, Max King was going to be the one to bring
Mm.
that next wave of young Sainers to the football. But geez Louise, Mitch Owens, I'd say he's become our marquee man.
100%. Like he's doing stuff that a kid at his age should really not be doing.
No.
In some of the positions that he plays off half forward, one of the most difficult positions on the ground, mind you, undermanned forward line. So he's taken, the number 1, number 2 defender a lot of the times too, without
Yeah,
King, without
100%.
Membry, Hayes, Cordy. Um, yeah, he's the responsibility he's
Imagine
got,
him as a third or fourth forward as well.
man, bloody hell.
Oh, holy smokes.
Yeah.
It'd be funny though, to be honest, if King and Membry and the crew returns and Owens gets the number one defender still.
Yeah. Then it plays into our hands either way,
Oh,
doesn't it?
of course. Yeah,
With
yeah.
that setup.
Definitely. It's the
Um,
dominoes.
yeah, and you look at that, Brisbane have got that sort of setup as well with all their talls and their smalls. A little worry for me though, Dan Butler.
Yeah.
He had a big 3 or 4 week patch around round 10 to 14 or so, but since then, he's just not looking like
Yeah.
near it.
Yeah,
Um,
reverting to old types a little bit because yeah, he's had a great year, like you said.
mm,
He had a sick patch of form, but I thought he was so. I thought Jack Paris was really stiff to get
yeah,
dropped, and
yeah,
on the back of Rossi during the week saying that there was going to be some tough selection calls. I reckon Stocker, that was a pretty tough one. But a first gamer who actually did more from my eyeballs, did more than Dan Butler. I thought that was a you know, pretty soft one. And
mm.
Butler, I don't think, yeah, that was, if that was supposed, he would have been given a word and go, all right, Paris is out, you're in. You need to show why you need to stay in this team. I don't think he did enough to. He didn't respond. I didn't see a
Yeah,
response from him, to be
yeah. Well,
honest.
yeah, and then obviously, we need to mention
And
Brad Hill. It's good to hear that he's okay.
yeah,
After
definitely.
that hit, because he put his body on the line, and we know that um, that's something that a lot of Saners have been on Brad Hill's back for. But he had to go,
Yeah,
and he did, and he copped a hit, coughed up
I
some
love
blood,
that
went to the
from Rossi.
hospital. Yeah, and what Rossi said was just amazing. Like that's you want to hear that from your leader, from your coach, don't you?
100%. And Rossi, he would have been all over the pulse of, I guess, the broader football and even, the Saints. We can be a pretty ruthless bunch of supporters when we want to
Mm,
be. And Bradley is definitely one of the players that people really want to take shots at.
yeah,
And yeah, he's had an unreal season. I've really enjoyed what he's brought to the table. And when we're not going well, he's still, at the end of the day, skills are one thing, but effort to me is more important. And
yeah,
there has not been one game where he said he didn't give it, he's 100%. He had a crack,
yeah.
but there are a lot of his mates that you can't say the same thing about. So stoked he's okay and looks like he'll be back in the mix sooner rather than later. But
Mm.
yes, that was a massive hit.
It was a massive hit. That was pretty early in the game as well. And then JB came on as the sub, I believe. What'd
Yeah.
you make of JB's game? Because he got basically a full game.
Oh, mate,
Um,
kick the goals
yeah,
because he's killing himself because he comes in and he creates some good opportunities. He gives some good service with the pill
yeah,
and lets himself down so badly by these goals that he'd be kicking in his sleep, the
mm,
35 out slide angles. He kicks them, and that's an excellent game. The
yeah,
sort of 15 touches or so, couple of goals, a couple of, score assists or whatever, and just generally a bit of structure. That's a great game
mm,
from a sub as well, mind you.
yeah,
Yeah, he just lets himself down, and I hope. I'm sure he'll turn it around. He's missed a lot of footy, so you can understand it. It's just you just want him to. He is one of the players that I was really keen to see under this new regime, and he just hasn't had a good run at it. So hopefully that, yeah, he's pulled up all right, and he's got the MJ glove on, and he's moonwalks it in against the Hawks, and gets a little bit of that mojo, sinks some goals. Um, but how did you see his game?
pretty much the same. Yeah, just couldn't quite, I guess, get bang for buck with some of his effort. Um, he kicked the two behinds, obviously, 12 disposals. But like you said, if he's landing 2 goals straight and 13, 14 touches, you're like, tick, job done. That's job
Yeah.
done for a half forward flanker. You don't need to
Hmm.
get big numbers. You just need and in a game where, we're kicking 9-15, like you're always looking
Yeah.
for that one or two blokes that just know how to just land a set shot. Cause like down the other end, you're looking at Larky and
Yeah.
he makes it look so easy.
Yeah, he's
Absolutely
good. Yeah, he's
beautiful
good.
kick of the footy. He is so good. Like a few years ago, I'll be honest, I thought, oh, he's had a few good years here, but he's not, he'll peter away. He's not a great player. He's genuinely a gun. He's a
Oh, yeah.
very, very good player. And any team would be very lucky to have him in their forward line. And you look at him and what he does for North in a struggling team.
Yeah.
Wait till he gets a bit better service and the team's humming a bit more. He's going to be very hard to stop.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, he's decent. And Mason Wood, I thought he was another
yeah,
one of the boys who said, "Let's go, let's
yeah,
win this thing." In the last quarter,
yeah,
he had some big moments, and he's a clever footballer, and I think he played a little bit more back up on the wing. It seems his natural position.
yeah.
So it was good to see him put his hand up and but Crouchy with the goal kicking, like
Mm,
I think he had 2 shots from pretty
he
much the
did.
same spot, and oh, if he kicks them, that's 3 Brownlow votes. Like, you know, that's
You'd be up
that's
there.
the top
Yeah.
that's the type of mid we need, is one that can win the ball, do all the things that Brad Crouch can do, but
Mm,
impact on the scoreboard. And it seems like every week he gives himself every chance to do that, but for whatever reason,
can't
he's
get it
scared
done.
of the big sticks.
I think the whole team is, mate. Like the last time we kicked,
100%. They are, yeah.
I think
So
only,
how nice was it to see? Because like Zach Jones, he hates the sticks as well.
yeah.
So I think it was like Jones and Crouch had a few. There's just a period where we're just pinging it at Caminiti, like we're all just missing, and then Sinclair gets and he's like, "Oh, fellas, do I really have to do everything and show you how it's done?" And he
I
just
know.
goes
He
back and
just sinks
just
it.
dobs it, just
Yeah.
sinks it. So that was good to see. I love it when
Sinks it.
Sinclair kicks
Yeah.
a goal.
Yeah. All right, mate. We've got some junk mail. What do you reckon we get
Hmm.
into that and see what the fans have to say?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Say that again with a bit more energy. Come on.
Let's. I was just getting my MC. This is how the bloke from Marvel. It was like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, let's do it. Junk mail
Jack
coming up.
Steele.
Jake's junk
Junk
mail.
mail.
Jake is junk mail. Jake is junk mail. Jake is junk mail. Jake is junk mail.
Oh, big stretch. All right. Let's get into it. This one is from Bryn. Thank you, Bryn, for sending this in. Been sitting on this question for a few weeks for the podcast. I've noticed this year, especially that the boys are just lacking enthusiasm when singing the song after a win. Do you think it has
No.
to do with the culture of the club or has the relationship with the players? Also curious to know if it's more of a masculinity issue as some just look uncomfortable. It's just sad seeing them win only for them to not be bothered with the song. Now, this
Oh,
leads very nicely into us being in the rooms
this is so
and to
bad.
talk about this experience. Marshy, please take it
All
away.
right. Are we going? Are we going to see the Wizard of Oz? We're going behind the curtain. We're
Yeah,
taking the
give
fans
everyone the
to.
full spiel. We want to know about the song and the thoughts and how it sounded because we see it on the
Yeah.
camera, but we were there.
Yeah, let's start from the start, and we'll get to this
Yeah.
question about the song. But so yeah, Mosh gave us the opportunity to get in and have a few words to the boys, which is just it was amazing. The only downside was that we had to be there 10 minutes into the last quarter, 10 minutes to go of the
You hated that.
game, and
Yeah.
it was so stressful. I'm just like far out. Like this is the last thing I want to be doing. I just want to watch this.
Because
Yeah.
it was 1 point,
Anyways,
the difference or
this
something at
one
the time.
point, like
Yeah.
as we're making out, we dragged it out. We probably could have stayed and then just gone down. But anyways, we did what we were told, and that's fine. So as we're going down the stairs, we didn't quite use Jane Bunn's tunnel to get to the bowels of Marvel. But it felt like that though. It felt really sneaky. It felt like a big wig. And as we're going down the stairs, that's where they had Higgins' goal. watching,
Yeah.
watching the review, and it was a goal. Like, sweet, we've got this in the bag, surely. So we make our way downstairs. We got the lanyards. Oh, I should have been wearing it for this episode. Like that's
Yeah,
getting hung
true.
up.
Oh, it's on
I
the
nearly,
fridge
I nearly,
already, mate. It's on the fridge for me.
yeah, that was sick. So, yeah. Anyways, go down there, and like people who they go like family passes or whatever, they've got their little the color wristband of the day. But nah, we got the lanyards out because. And when Big Chief at the door, he saw us. He's like, "Straight in, boys. You
Yep.
mean business? Get in there." And so we make our way into the room, and the common people, they're all having to stand behind. They're having to stand behind the rope, the do not pass rope. But we're on the other side. We're next to the pillars. We're yeah, front and center.
We're
We got
media,
Fox.
mate. We're media.
We're media. We got the Fox Footy crew blocking our view. So you're like, oh mate, shuffle over. And anyway, so the boys come in and they go to sing their song. They've only got 8 bottles of water, mind you. I found that a little bit strange. There's more than 8 players. But anyways, the boys come in and everyone's, yeah, come on, boys, good win, whatever. And they're singing their song, and um, I just did I say should we go to clap? Oh, I don't know. What happened there?
Yeah, I think you just said I think we should go the clap. Let's get the clap into it.
So this, so listeners, come with us here. Like I'm talking ad nauseum about this. Our days of COVID. That was when we were peak singing the song well, and
Yeah.
that was when the boys broke out after Gresham comes in with his piece, and they all just start clapping and having fun with it. So I've just come in with the most stalest claps.
Oh, mate.
The whole room, I could feel all the commoners just looking at us and just who invited these guys, and I had to commit to finishing the clap because
Yeah, once you start, what are you going to do, mate? You
let's
got to
just
go.
start. Yeah, if I petered out, I'd look like a coward. So I'm like, so I've just committed to this most flaccid clap, and I reckon you could probably hear it on, yeah, especially your one because you recorded the song. So I reckon
Yeah, it'll be on my
listeners,
mic. Yeah, because you
listeners, if
handed
you
me your
really,
mic too. You're like, take this, mate, and then you're like,
not even with gusto.
not even. It was
Like,
just a little
it's just
soft
a little
one, a little
flaccid
scared
golf
one.
clap.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. I couldn't come in hot, but nonetheless, yeah, it definitely caused some ruffles, and I was going to use that, and then afterwards we got to have a chat to the three fellas, which is amazing, and just to see like Bassett came up and said g'day, like legend Levels came up and had a chat. The AFLW girls were there, which is cool. And yeah, it was pretty surreal, to be honest. And I had in my mind these set questions. I wanted to ask about the team song.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring in the clap to Marshall because, like I said before, he's salmons. He really wants to let loose, but I missed an opportunity, listeners. I didn't quite get that.
Next time, mate. We'll get him
But-
again. But to go back to Bryn's question, do you think
It's
there's
just-
did you rate the song in the rooms, or they were a bit? I mean, it
nah,
wasn't a great win, so they would carry that in, because they wouldn't be happy with themselves.
Yeah, I think there's maybe just a bit of a pride thing, because if you got Marshall saying he's embarrassed about, or he's feeling slightly embarrassed about his,
Yeah.
he felt it was an over the top celebration, but to us supporters, like, nah, fuck no, that's passion. Like you look at Kamanides, Sharmans, even Steele when he dobbed it, he's just like, you could just see the relief because they would have been having thoughts like, if we drop this game against North, could you imagine the noise? Both internally, externally, it would just be shit.
Yeah.
And I think that with the song, nah, they just, I think there's a little bit of, if we really wanted to be passionate about the song, there maybe people think we're getting carried away with ourselves, but nah, let it ride, I reckon.
Yep, spot on. This one's from Tawunda. This is a bit of a plug, by the way. I just put this in there. She's asking, how long till we get some Machito merch? It's going to go gangbusters, she reckons. Actually, there is a design ready to go. I'm just trying to work out logistics and when to drop it. But I reckon if he has another big game on the weekend, we'll keep an eye out next week. I reckon then it'll drop. But I think you've seen the design, Marshy. We can't give much away, but it's pretty solid. I'm pretty happy with it.
Not bad.
Yeah. It's no
I don't know.
Is it Cheezos or all that crap that everyone's doing? How creative. Let's just put a packet of Cheezels or whatever it is and put his name on it. Like, he must be sick of that. Running gag,
Nah, it's not. I'm sure it'll be sexy.
Yeah.
Sell well with the kids.
Yeah, Brendan was asking, how was the feeling in the rooms after the game? The vibe, I guess. It was pretty good. Like, everyone was pretty chatty, and I mean, like, the president
just
and
relief.
the CEO
It was definitely
were pretty
relief.
relieved. Yeah,
it was one of relief.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, they were just glad to get over the line, and get it done. This one's from
really
Low.
yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, go on.
Come on, mate. You go.
I was just going to say the other question I didn't get out, and I was really annoyed, was getting the feedback from the three players on their views on adults wearing jerseys to the footy.
Yeah.
Because we saw a fella going downstairs and, not, I've forgotten the name, but lovely chap. And yeah, he was adult Guernsey wearer like
Mm.
I am. I'm a proud Guernsey wearer, but yeah, just on the back of our chat last week regarding Juddy just being a dog. But I reckon the three fellas would have been all for it.
Yeah, I reckon so as well. Low and Co is asking thoughts on playing finals when we struggle against teams like North, Gold Coast, and Hawthorn. Like, if we make finals, we've probably
They're not
beaten
playing.
a Carlton or Richmond
Yeah.
or Geelong or a Brisbane, and you're like, well, who cares about that? Who cares about if we struggled against them? You know, we haven't beaten Gold Coast. Well, we did beat Gold Coast, but they beat us that second time. Hawthorn, if they beat us the first time, we beat them the second time. Great. And North Melbourne have beaten twice. 8 points. You take it, you run, and it's not relevant. You think we'd be thinking about those games if it was week one of the finals? I wouldn't be.
Oh, definitely not.
I'd be like,
It's,
all right, we're going to the bloody G. Let's beat Essendon or whoever we're playing.
yeah.
Let's get it to the
And,
second week, you know?
and I'd like to think that we'd sort of rise to, the occasion of playing
Yeah.
against a good team. We seem to struggle against the teams that we should be beating and
Yeah.
beating well. But like Port, Collingwood, even Brizzy, we had our chances.
Yeah.
Richmond's, yeah, like we're thereabouts. I think
It's,
our hard to swallow performances have come from teams that, yeah, are below us, or we should be getting smoked by.
yeah. James is asking, what's the issue with Stocker? What are the coaching staff seeing in him at the moment? Is there something he needs to work on, or do you think it was just a bit of form?
I think it's a bit of form and just him going away from what made him a real asset to the team earlier this
Yeah.
year. I don't think his form was that horrible, but
Neither.
I think he kind of not lost, but seemed to have tapered off a bit with his aggression, his controlled aggression, and aggressive ball movement as well. I think he was quite is aggressive with the ball, and if he wasn't being aggressive, he would take the safe option, but make sure that
Mm.
he would get it done. Whereas I think the last few weeks he's been a little bit loose with the disposal and just coughing it up a bit. And
Yeah.
I think that turnovers would be driving Ross wild and coming out of the back line. And I suppose if you're thinking of maybe utilizing a Windhager, or if you've got options to do something about it, then I think that might send a bit of a message, because I think he probably just needed a rest, to be honest, because
It's
yeah,
had a big
he's,
year.
he, he's had a big year. And I think if it was a really like a form thing, or you need to go back and do this, and he would have played at Sandy. He wouldn't be a
Yeah.
carryover emergency. So I
True.
wouldn't be too worried if I was Liam Stocker.
Yep. Yep. We love the Stocker.
Mhm.
This is from Josh. We'll wrap it up here because it leads us into another conversation we want to have about the Hawthorn
Yep.
game. He's asking, can we know a little bit more about the plans with the cheer squad? So this
Yeah.
will transition us. Thanks everyone for junk mail. We will now transition to the Hawthorn game. But Marshy, let's talk about that a little bit. That's
Oh,
something we
it's
want to push
exciting.
pretty hard.
It's exciting. It really
Yeah.
is. I think it's the club have been great in. It's on the back of what Joycey really started a few weeks ago in wanting to create. I guess for an away game where we have that opportunity to bring all the people who want to be loud
Yeah.
behind the sticks, back up the cheer squad, and just bring it back to, like, you look at North yesterday, their cheer squad and surrounding bays was pumping, to be honest. They turned up and they were loud, and yeah, that's what I think Saints can do, because
Yeah.
there are a lot of people out there that want to take pot shots at I guess the cheer squad, or just fans in general for not wanting to make noise. Well, I'll tell you what, this is your chance, because we've reached out. The cheer squad's on board. Had a good chat with Joe and Lisa. They run it down there, the cheer squad, and the club have been good in freeing up the available seats in the cheer squad. So for this Hawks game, they're hooking them to us for free. So
Yeah,
we're
it's
going to be
awesome.
putting it out there through Saints TV that if you want to come, you will get a free ticket. But the conditions of accepting that ticket is you
Make
come
some
in, you make some
noise.
noise.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing some. I'm big on this, and I reckon it'll be pretty. It'll look good on the camera. But I think we could do, Jakey, in it like the wrestling. Their crowd. They always have like the Office Works posters with just whatever
Yeah,
written on
true.
it. So
Yeah.
just get your creative juices flowing, get your arts, and just work on your craft. Basically, I've
Yeah,
already
go
got. I'm
to
going to bring two. I'm going to have one
I
dissing Hawthorn and one just like pumping up our boys.
yeah.
And basically on the day, I reckon we'll just a bit of a competition. There'll definitely be prizes for best signs, and I think we could have some real fun with that. So there'll
Mhm.
be that. We'll be workshopping some basic chants that are fresh. They're fun. Everyone, once they go, everyone knows where that's leading. So,
Yeah.
again, we'll workshop it outside, the potty and through the channel, and how we can get these ideas to fruition. But yeah, I guess if you're listening, if you're keen, and you know of people who would be keen that don't listen, ask them to listen to the potty firstly, but get them involved. So this
Yeah.
is for people of all ages. We're just coming together as one saintly collective that it's going to be vibrant. There are quite a few seats, so I think if you're really keen, you should be able to get in on it. It's a
Mm.
dry area, so there's no booze in the cheer squad, but you can have a few cheeky warm ups, and that's at quarter time. Go have some oranges if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's going to go off. We're trying to get a drum, but I don't think that's going to get over the
Nice.
line. They had to get that at
That's
the
all right.
start of the
Stomp your
year.
feet. Stomp your feet.
Stomp your feet. We've got hands,
Yeah.
we'll use them. So plenty to come during the week. We'll go
Yeah.
with it hard. And by all means, if anyone's got any questions through the aisle 29, hit us up. And I'm sure Jakey boy, he's busy. Leave him alone.
Yeah, leave me alone,
Send all the inquiries to me. But yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be different, and hopefully it sort of paves a way for people who were thinking about maybe joining the cheer squad, and and maybe for something for future away games. I think just really having that staunch support
Mm.
is what the boys need to finish up the
Yeah.
year, get into
Yeah.
the finals, and
Spotlight's gonna get a workout this week, I reckon.
oh
But
yeah,
you
yeah.
mentioned some hymns. I forgot.
Mhm.
We actually got a poem sent in from
Yeah,
from Bali, from the man
from
himself.
Bali.
Obviously, we've got
Oh,
Tim from
Jake,
Norway. He's gone
yeah.
AWOL. But we've got Joycey here on the line.
Yeah, I hope you're listening,
Um,
Tim. I hope everything's okay. We miss
yeah,
you, mate.
mate, hit us
Don't be a
up.
stranger. Don't be a
That's it.
stranger.
We all love you. We love your poems, mate. Brought a smile to our
Mhm.
face earlier in the season. So hopefully you're going well. But this is Joycey with his own poem, although it goes pretty long. I reckon it's more of a bit of a song that he's probably going to write and do a little acoustic cover to at one point. But let's go.
G'day, Saints fans. International correspondent Joycey here, coming to you live from Bali.
Bali.
I've got a poem for you. 4:40 Sunday afternoon, a familiar sight to most. We were to take on the Kangaroos, that we would be the host. Coming up against our former leader and coaching Brett Ratton, a nervy feeling at Marvel Stadium that anything could happen. We come out on fire and we kick the first two, but we're the fierce youngsters that own the couch, the Kangaroo. Lead at the first, but give it away due to our wayward kicking. Much was the tale of the day as the third quarter kept on ticking. At three-quarter time, the message was clear. Boys, you've got to use your run. The boys came out and responded. Well, suddenly everyone was a gun. Marshall, Sharman and Steele on the board would finally hit the lead. Kangaroos kicked one more, but they couldn't stop the bleed. Higgins from mid-air. And off to the rooms we sang. While I sit here by the poolside with a celebratory, ice-cold Bintang. Back to you, boys.
Love it.
Look at what was he? Vince Vaughn from early 2000s or something.
I
Vince
would
Vaughn
much
from
rather-
Swingers. Have you seen Swingers?
It's a good one.
Yeah, like, it's a great movie, but bloody hell, Joycey, that was good.
I would have loved it if he was doing it, just maxing out on his banana lounge in the VB's Budgie Smugglers.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
there
But
a-
yeah,
is there a-
that was good, Joycey. That's good.
Is there a character limit to poems though, or
Oh,
can they go
look,
as long as you want?
Yeah, like I
Technicalities
think
here, but
I think Joyce he'd been getting stuck into the Bintang clan a little. It just went. There's just one part that didn't quite
yeah,
bar
you
out.
could
But
just delete that.
overall,
Yeah,
actually, to be honest, I think if you're a true poet like our mate Tim from Norway, you should be able to do it without the cheat notes with the palm
I know.
cards.
He had the cue cards there, the old.
Yeah, the
Joyce.
cue cards. So
He had the teleprompter just in the distance there.
yeah, I rate where Joyce is going with it. I like the chutzpah about it all.
Yeah.
However, our mate Tim from Norway just freestyles, and
It's
so
class.
if I had to critique, I'd say a poem's better than no poem. But Tim, we need you, mate. Lift.
Yeah. Now more
Lift.
than ever. After that, yeah. We love Joyce.
It was
And he'll be
good. It
back
was good,
next week.
though.
It'll be good. Let's get into the Hawthorn game. It's their home
yeah.
game, Sunday, 1:10. We don't have to gloss over it too long. Here's my preview. Don't allow Sicily to get 50,000 possessions. And let's learn our lesson from last time. That is the only way. That's how they beat us last time. Do not allow him to dictate the game, and we win.
And that was one thing that I did enjoy a bit more about our game yesterday. Even for the whole game, it seemed that it was pretty concerted not to overuse the bomb, in that we're lowering the eyes and trying to hit targets.
Yeah.
And we sent a few licorice bullets in that were a bit too hot, and that's okay. But, skill errors happen. But I thought that kind of football, that limits the effectiveness of the Sicilies of the world. So, yeah, absolutely. Keep it away from the bloke.
Yeah.
Keep it away from him.
They're going to take the game on too. We know that. That's what Hawthorn have been doing all season, to their benefit and also their detriment. And we need to capitalize on that. This is a game where it could be a shootout. And we want to come on, on the other side with the 4 points. Who else is a danger, man? It's really Sicily for me. Like, I can't.
It's basically it's Sicily. It's Jai Newcomb and that even it's the centre bouncers that seem to kill us. I think our general clearance works decent, but the centre bouncers, we just cannot seem to rein in opposition midfields from that restart. So I'd like us to make a bit of a focus to not allow such easy access for them just to waltz it out every time. Like North did it, and that LDU, he's a weapon. He's such a good
he's
player.
a gun. Yeah.
But imagine if they had another one of their better players in Jai Simpkin. It would have got ugly. It would have got ugly. And for us, we can't really say that we're missing this bloke, and that's why perhaps so what we've got at the moment, that's what we've got. So we need to make it work. And I think mixing it up a bit, having Owens, having Sinclair run through, that helps. But Zachy Jones, if he's playing this week, he needs to lift.
He loves playing well against Hawthorn. He loves the Hawks.
Yeah.
So
hopefully a bit of continuity. I think I'd love to see a big game from him. Jay Gresham needs to pull the finger out. I know that it's probably bordering on bullying because it's consistent, it's repetitive, but mate, 11 disposals or whatever it was, that's not good enough. That's not good enough, and he's playing in the guts. That's he needs to get better, and we saw it again. Just the errant kicking it without looking. It seems that he's got the ball and he's in space, but he just kicks it over the head, and to Mackay, like he's just
Mm.
by himself, like actually like hit a target, and it's an opposition defender just
Yeah.
waiting for it. He would have been like as if you're kicking it to me like that.
I know, he
But-
would have been shocked.
So I'd like to see Gresham just get a bit more of it, but even if he got it 11 times but was just deadly with it and
Mm.
just made things happen, I can dig that, and maybe a cheeky goal or two.
Yeah.
So I just think overall there's a few players that really need to, I guess, raise the standard, follow the leader, go with Jack Steele, go with these
Yeah.
Sinclairs, you know.
I think like to me, the longer we go without getting that form, the more I hope or the more I believe that it'll happen that next week. You know, if it didn't happen on the
that's
weekend, I'm
right.
like,
That's
it's gotta happen against Hawthorn. If it doesn't happen against Hawthorn, I'm like, it's got to happen against Carlton. It just ups the ante every week. And the boys know, like, it's crunch time. Like they're not silly. They know that finals is it's on the line now.
yeah. It really is. It really
Yeah.
is. So, I just want us to come out and just play with confidence. And when things don't go our way, when North got their 2 goals, you know, in relatively quick succession,
Mm.
we're playing excellent football until then. But their
Yeah.
collective heads just dropped, and they just
Yeah.
started getting within themselves and just are going away from what makes us. You know, we're just not using our assets like we were at the start of the year. So if we can carry that fourth quarter energy, and
Mm.
we're going to be a bloody hard team to beat. If we can do that for 4 quarters, it's a big if. It shouldn't be a big if, but it is, because it was largely just built on just effort and being a little bit cleaner with our disposals. So because everyone's still running, like there are players free. It's just looking for them, and when you see them, just hitting that target.
That's all we're gonna do.
That's all we got to do.
Hit the
And I think,
targets, man.
yeah. So awesome to see Caulfield have a
Yep.
more than successful return.
That was epic. Who's in the who's in the running for
mix.
selection this week, you reckon? There wouldn't be trying to think. Jack Hayes is he's possibly twinged a possible hammy or something, I heard, but
I hope not.
hope not.
Where
Yeah.
Saints. I'm just doing a bit of a cheeky online scroll here because I know the Saints, when they gave the Brad Hill update, they said that a few others were firming for a bit of a return.
Yeah.
Can we do it? Nah, not really. I can't find it. But yeah, hopefully Caulfield and Matt Allison also made his return, which is
that's
excellent.
great. Yep. Because he was having
I'd
he was having a big preseason before.
100%. I'd love to get a look at him. He hasn't made his debut yet, so I think that would be a really good story if he was. Being earmarked for a pretty big year, all things considered, and broke his foot. Did he break his foot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we spoke to him when we spoke to him
at the social
with Matt Owens or whatever you. Is that when he when he went with
another faux pas? Oh god,
was it Mitch Allison that you went with?
Oh yeah, I was like the dickhead MC at Marvel because I just gave it the real box and Matt Owens. I'm like, no,
mate, that's wrong.
No, Mitch Allenson. I called him Mitch Allenson. That's right. I gave it the big Mitch Allison, and
he's just looking at you.
The
like,
boys,
what are you doing, mate?
Allison and Owens are just like, come on, let's get this show on the road. Come on, I got shit to do.
Yeah, well, Saints have to get to the game. We got 18K, I think, on the weekend. Although it was pretty loud. We all got up and about late in the game, which was important. The boys need that.
They do. 18K is it's not a good attendance in anybody's language. However, and you throw in the factors, 440, trains are non-existent at the moment. And yeah, the boys haven't been playing that great, but
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I was having a great chat at the platform after our change room dalliance and chatting to some legends, and one of them, his name was Joshy. He come from Warrigal, so
Mhm.
he just but it's an absolute trek. So someone from Warrigal makes sure that they get to the football,
Yeah.
then I think that, as supporters, I think, yeah, unless you've got a genuine proper excuse, but if it's just tossing up whether, oh, it's inconvenient, oh, we're not playing top four footy, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I reckon the fence sitters need to, get the splinters out of the bum and just come make some noise for the boys, because we need it as a club.
Yeah, well for those people, what do you reckon's the best way to get them to the footy? Do you reckon we need to get other Saners that are pretty active in, say, the aisle in the cheer squad to get their mates, tell them, come on, this is a good vibe, and the boys need us now more
Absolutely.
than ever.
Yeah, like bring a mate, and maybe there are solo saners out there that don't have anyone to go to the footy with, and
True,
they
they
would
need
go
someone.
if they had friends or had
Yeah,
Saints mates to go to the footy. Bloody oath, send the channel a message, because we'll be able to hook you up. We've always got spare seats in the aisle, and Jake's Mr. Ticket Blaster, and all in all, I think we can sort out those that just don't have anyone to go to the footy with. So
yeah,
if that's putting off people, then that makes me sad, and I'd love for those people to get to the footy, and we'll make sure you're with good company. And no better way to really get that in action by this weekend against the Hawks. It's their home game, so we're going to be behind the sticks, like I said before, and it's going to be something we haven't seen. So come help us make it a success. It's going to be good fun.
yeah. That's all we can say. I want to see, especially that cheer squad. We've talked about it a lot, but that's the key. I want to see it the most full it's been this
Yeah,
season. Um,
absolutely, even,
yeah,
and yeah, it's going to be fun. Stay tuned for the details. We'll be pumping it hard this week, and trying to make it as clear as to what to expect.
yeah. I'm just trying to get the boys' song because I know that we're going to end it with a bit of a tune. And
Mhm.
man, we talked up the song a bit before, didn't we?
Oh yeah, you got to put in your tune, the one that you record, so people might be able to hear my little placid claps.
Oh, I can't be stuffed,
I
to be
reckon,
honest.
give him your footage if you can. Give him
My
your footage
footage.
audio. Yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah,
even know what that is now, to be honest. It's probably on my phone.
yeah. What was it? Where
Um,
else would it be? Yeah.
what, you want me to
Was
put
it?
that on now?
No, yeah, like yeah.
I probably could, to be honest.
You can edit it in. Yeah, I
Where
reckon.
was it? We're doing this on the fly, Saners, so just give us a sec. So
Yeah,
we might be able to hear Marshy's. I'll play it now. We might be able to hear Marshy's
oh dear.
placid
I'm
claps.
sure.
Here
Surely,
we
I'm
go.
getting banned.
You reckon you get banned from the rooms after that?
Yeah, I
All
reckon.
right, I'm gonna play. We'll go with the joke, and then
Oh,
It's uploading
and,
now. So,
yeah, and lastly,
yeah,
how was my moves? I asked Leplin if him and Rossi were
I
fighting.
know you went bang. You just went straight for the jugular there. I'm like, look at this guy. He's up and
No,
about. He's
no,
confident
yeah,
now.
nothing. And yeah, he gave a very good response to that. So
Yeah,
I
he
don't
did.
think there's any disharmony there. It's just people making mountains out of molehills, it seems.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's end it with a joke, mate. Lead the way, and
Hmm.
then we'll get into the song. It's a bit funny. It's
Alrighty.
only the two of us, really. It's just
I know. So at least we can't stuff it up. You know your lines, I know mine. All
yeah,
right.
what is it?
So it goes a little something like this. And knock, knock.
Who's there?
Alan.
Oh, and who?
Actually, no. Stop, stop. Can we be the MC person from Marvel?
All right. Yeah, we'll do that.
Start again. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Owen.
Owen. Who? Up the Sainers.
Up the Sainers.
When the Saints go marching in, oh, when the Saints go marching in, oh, how I want to be a St. Kilda. Oh, when the Saints go marching in, oh, when the Saints, oh, when the Saints go marching in, go marching in, oh, when the Saints go marching in, oh, how I want to be a St. Kilda. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Woo!
Where'd that? We're not ending it there. That's not even our song. Where'd that come from?
I don't know, but you
was
can
on
hear
my
my
phone.
claps. You can hear my placid claps.
Oh, you could hear it.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from? I sent that to my phone, but that's this footage. Is that not the footage? Nah. How weird's that?
No,
I
that's
sent
not
that from
that's
my
not the
phone.
footage, but yeah. So you're gonna go again. So you're gonna hit.
I'm gonna
hit a
go
clap.
again. We're doubling up on this.
So that got picked up. Yeah, the listeners would have been able to hear after Gresh's little ditty. So
Yeah,
we'll see
no,
how
I'm doing it.
robust my claps are in your footage.
I'm doing it again. It's it's because it's there. I know what the issue is, Signers.
Oh,
It's because it's MOV. It's .mov. Signers
okay.
haven't seen this side of the channel before.
Yeah, this
a bit
is
of a-
really how the sausage gets made remotely.
Oh mate, this is what happens when Joycey's not around.
We miss you,
We're just,
Joyce.
We're just freeballing. We don't know what we're doing. If anything, if anything, now Sainers can see the song from the Channel 7 broadcast, and now they get to see the behind the scenes Saints TV version and see the difference.
Yeah, that's it. Some claps 5.1 surround sound.
I love that we said, oh yeah, we'll do a quick potty tonight. What does it go on, an hour and 20 minutes or something?
Oh yeah, hour and 7 minutes and 24 seconds.
Good on you, Sainers.
Time flies when you're talking Saints footy, huh?
That's it. And good on the Sainers for wherever they are going for their run or morning drive to work or in the evening clocking off in bed after a long day. Listening to us, it's an honour, isn't it, Marshy? It's an absolute honour.
It is.
All right, I think it's nearly ready to go.
We're still waiting for. I'm keen. I'm so glad that my little plastic claps made it.
I reckon you can
big
hear.
time.
There's a part where you can hear you talking to me and saying like, should I do it, or like you hand me your microphone. You can hear that.
You egged me on
everyone.
though. I actually blame you because you egged me
All right.
on, and those who know me know that I'm a truth or dare
You
kind
ready?
of fella. Yeah.
You ready? All right, let's do it. There we go, boys. That's 3/4 round. Bloody hell.
When the Saints go marching in, oh, when the Saints go marching in, oh, how I want to be a St. Kilda.
I'm commentating this.
Oh, when the Saints go marching in, go marching in, oh, when the Saints go marching in,
There it is. There's the cut.
oh, when the Saints go marching in.
Oh, beautiful.